Alright class, I'll see you Monday, the teacher said as the bell chimed, signaling the end of the school day. Hey Mari, are you helping your folks out at the bakery on New Year's? Kim swung his bag over his shoulder and walked over to her. For the last time, Kim, I'm not helping you gamble, Marinette replied exasperatedly, despite an amused smirk appearing on her face. Kim rolled his eyes at her accusation. I'm asking about the festival, he clarified. Yeah, I'll be there. It's our thing, right? Marinette chuckled. She was met with a silence and noticed that his lips were pressed in a thin line. She raised a brow at his sudden shiftiness. He looked nervous and his eyes avoided hers. I'm doing the line dance again this year and Undine wanted to come watch, he said cautiously. She blinked at him, not understanding why that would be such a problem. That sounds great. She and I can keep each other company while you're doing your thing, she said. You're okay with it? It was always strange to see Kim nervous about something. He was usually so confident and full of himself that it felt out of place. They did often joke that going to the Lunar New Year's festival together was their thing, but it was never written in stone that it had to be exclusive. She assured him that she didn't mind, but he still left with an unsure look on his face. She was actually excited to get to know Undine better. When Marinette arrived at the festival the next weekend, she saw Undine wishing Kim luck before he went off to get ready. Marinette called to her and waved. Are you excited? Marinette asked as she walked up to her. I am. I've never seen Kim do something like this before, so I can't wait, she said. Marinette smiled at her enthusiasm. Kim's been a goofball since we were little. He was always good at physical activities, though it often got him into a lot of trouble. Marinette scratched her cheek sheepishly as she remembered the time he beat up another boy for picking on her when they were younger. So it's nice to see him directing his energy towards something like this, Marinette chuckled. You two seem close. I feel like I'm intruding, Undine laughed. Oh no, not at all. I'm really happy that he's brought you. Now I don't have to stand here by myself. The more the merrier, right? Marinette smiled. The dance kicked off to the rhythm of the drums and the girls turned their full attention to the performance. Marinette giggled when she heard Undine's astounded wow next to her. Surely Kim was doing his best to impress her. Marinette was happy for him, that he found someone who truly liked him for who he was. She thanked God that he and Chloe never became a thing. If she ever had to pick out his biggest fault, it would be his former crush on Chloe. Like the previous years, when the dance ended, Marinette waited for Kim so that they could go and enjoy the festival. But at least she had company this year to help pass the time. They chatted about school and hobbies and even poked fun at Kim for a bit. She had to wonder if maybe she was in the way. She hadn't considered that maybe Kim was actually planning on going with just Undine. She froze at the thought, wondering if she was being an obnoxious third wheel. Maybe it would be better for her to just greet him once he's done and then split. Thanks again for letting me come. Kim told me that this was something that you two did together every year, and I felt badly about butting in. Undine looked apologetic, as if she were the one tagging along as the third wheel. What? No, it really is fine. I mean, I've tried inviting others in the past, even though it never panned out. Ollie is usually stuck babysitting on weekends, same with Nino. And Adrian... Marinette sighed. I always told myself that he'd be too busy or wouldn't be allowed to come anyway, so I never asked. Though that was just me being a huge chicken and not having the guts to ask him. She gave Undine a resigned smile. I'm kind of jealous of you. I was never able to tell Adrian how I feel. Undine opened her mouth to reply, but her lips suddenly pressed tightly together as her eyes shifted over and widened in surprise. In confusion, Marinette turned to her left to see Kim and Adrian standing there. Kim with an oh no look plastered on his face, and Adrian looking across between surprised and concerned. From their expressions alone, Marinette was sure that they had overheard. Hey, Adrian started, but before he could get any other words out, Marinette's hand shot forward and grabbed Kim's arm, pulling him away from their companions. Her face burned in humiliation. What the hell, Kim? She let go of his arm once they were far enough and faced him. Why is Adrian here? She berated him, but upon seeing the guilty look on his face, she tried to calm herself. I'm sorry, I'm not... She exhaled, telling herself that Kim would never purposely do anything to hurt her. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get so angry, She thought back to Adrian's expression and cautious greeting and brought her hands up to her face to muffle her mortified scream. I'm sorry, I thought it would be a nice surprise. It's been just the two of us since forever, and with Undine, I Felt like I was messing up our thing, and we needed a last-minute replacement for one of our guys, and Adrian was available, and... Wait, slow down, Kim. She held her hands up in front of her and motioned for him to take it easy. He caught his breath and gathered himself. Sorry, he mumbled. I figured if I was inviting Undine that it'd be nice for you to have someone, and I was pretty sure that you still liked Adrian, he explained. Marinette face-palmed and sighed. A little part of her wondered if she was so pathetic that Kim, of all people, thought to set her up on a pseudo-blind date. But that aside, his concern was unwarranted. You're such a big doofus, she said as she stepped forward to give him a hug. You don't have to feel so badly about breaking our tradition. You're still here at the festival with me, right? It doesn't matter if we have others with us, she smiled. This was going to happen sooner or later, you know. Of course, I would have preferred to be the first one to get a date. But I'm happy for you, Kim. She pulled back and gave him a crooked grin. Kim sighed in relief, but he suddenly remembered the tiny little problem that occurred just a few minutes earlier. So, about what you said about not being able to tell Adrian how you feel, he started cautiously. Marinette stood at his words, she too remembering the reason why they were split off from the group in the first place. A cry of sheer humiliation escaped her lips as she clutched her head in dread. Come on, let's head back. Don't worry, I'll be your wingman, he flexed his arms ridiculously, making her laugh involuntarily. It's kinda late for that now, considering he already overheard me talking about him, she sighed. Minor details, Mari. I can do it. I was Cupid once before, you know, he boasted and threw his arms around her shoulders. Marinette snorted at his words. Dark Cupid doesn't count, Kim,